Okay, here we go. Um, we are going to talk about burns for a minute, and then I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to show you how I use Artex. That's a fun product, and I sent you home with a product similar to Artex, but it's not exactly the same. So for burns, you really have to, like every other type of gore, you have to consider what caused the burn. What caused it? Burns can be caused by a whole lot of things, including fire, freezing, chemical burns, electrical burns, thermal burns from boiling water or other boiling liquid, and other causes. First degree burns are superficial and are usually they only create red swollen areas. All of us have gotten a first degree burn, I'm sure. Second degree burns create blisters and the skin can actually slough off with second degree burns. And then third degree burns burn down to the muscle. They're really intense burns that are hard to look at. So I'm going to be doing a flash burn from an electrical source with crispy areas, edges, and juicy areas. And then here's that woman again from the Krylon demo. So the products, just play this, that I used, that I'm going to use are Artex, made by Krylon, and Artex comes in this little box, and there's two baby food jar, part A and part B. So there's part B, there's part A. You'll notice in part B, there's a little bit of pigment at the bottom. That's why you have to stir, 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 stir each part, a whole bunch, before you mix them together. Part A is kind of fleshy looking already. What I sent you home with, because I had more of it, was, it's called Third Degree. And it's also a two-part silicone, and it is nearly clear. So silicone is really, really cool, and I like it better than latex for skin effects because it is translucent like skin, so you can build up layers. The best makeup to use with this, if you're going to put this on somebody who wants to do a zombie walk or something like that, where they're wearing it for like 4 or 5 hours, is alcohol activated makeup. You don't have that in your kit. It's very expensive. It's usually specifically used for special effects makeup. It also stains like the dickens, so it's really hard to get off. But that won't budge on the silicone, whereas the super color grease paint can come off. If you powder it pretty well, you'll be fine though. So that's what we're going to use today, is the super color. You want your palette and your spatula, because that's what you're going to use to mix up the Artex. You want paper towels so you can wipe part A off before you put your spatula into part B. A makeup drape is really cool if you have one, or a towel to put around your performer so you don't get the silicone on their clothes, because it will be there forever if you do. I like to mix stuff up in little Dixie cups because I just throw them away at the end. Your makeup brushes, stipple sponges, makeup sponges. Makeup drape is the same as a cape for a model. Redundant. So basically that's all the things you'll need. I have Acrylbond adhesive in here as far as the products used. Now you could use spirit gum. I like this Acrylbond because it's a lot like Prozaid, which is a little gentler on your skin. But I'll show you how we use the adhesive. And I'm also going to use Gafquat. Now, yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there. You can use Marley Skin or the Pro Shield, which you've all used in class. I think you used it under the latex when we did crepe hair. It's the material you put on to protect your skin. Of course, you want to have clean, dry skin first. I took my black eyes off for this. And then I have some Ben Nye cream makeup. that I use once in a while because I've got some other colors. And then baby wipes are awesome. Oh, and then of course powder to powder it all. So there's a star after the word tools. I'm kind of going topsy-turvy backwards through its presentation, but that's to make you notice the last line on this page. Always clean your tools and use hand sanitizer before you touch your client. Oh, Krylon Old Blood, that is actually supposed to be up in products used. Oh, that last slide also has a burn classification slide where it's got the 1st degree burn, 2nd degree burn, 3rd degree burn. So this is where you can kind of see how far down each of the burn classifications go. You can see the 3rd degree burn goes into the muscle and it's complete destruction of the skin and to its full depth as well as underlying tissues. Ugh. All right, so to do this demo, we're gonna need to do a 2nd or 3rd degree burn, kind of in the middle. This is actually a illustration of what happens in an arc flash. You can see there's blackened skin peeling away, and you know you can't see the veins underneath, but you can. Maybe that is a photograph. I don't know, but usually I don't put in hardcore looking veins like that. That looks kind of fakey to me. You can see there's like a piece of skin still on there, but we can see a lot of the muscle and tissue underneath. Okay, so we're going to get started with the Artex burn. So we figured out what burn we're going to use, and I have some images of that burn. I have clean skin. I'm going to put on a little bit of barrier foam. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of barrier foam in my hand, and I'm going to do my burn right over here on my face. So I have my barrier foam on, and if you can see, it's a little glossy still. And just making sure I have my lights on. You can always use a hairdryer to speed it up. Now, when you're hair drying a client, you can't feel what they feel. So what I always do is put my hand like this over the hair dryer, so I know if I'm burning my actor. So if it's too hot on my hand, it's too hot on their face, so back it off or turn the heat settings down. For this demo, I'm in my body right now, and so I can feel if it's too hot or too cold. So there we go, it's dry. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna do one layer. Oh, actually, I'm going to prep my hair. So I am not going to put Gafquat. This is Gafquat, by the way. Gafquat. You can say it like Affleck. They're strong and then a medium strength. This stuff is crazy. It's like molasses. See? What I'm going to do, I'm going to block out my eyebrow with this so I can go over the end of my eyebrow. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right on my eyebrow. Go over it a couple times, and it's a lot like when you're doing the brow block. Ooh, it creates like spider webs. You're going to take your spatula and you're really going to press everything down and scrape off the residual. So can you all see how it's glossy right where my eyebrow is? That means I've successfully blocked off from here over. those of you that have used eyebrow blocker are now reeling because this is so easy. And it just washes out with hot water. We like easy. So again, another little drying session. Always make sure with these special effects products, you put the lids right back on because you don't want to lose your products. All right, so I'm just gonna dry this real quick. I'm gonna go on high. Okay, so for this, you can see it's kind of actually wrinkling my skin. You would not, if you're gonna actually just block your eyebrows, you do not have to use the strong hold one. You can use the medium hold and it won't do this. So you feel the stuff, you see if your gaff quad's dry. I can feel there's like one little area that's wet. So while that dries, I'm gonna get my white eye pencil and I'm gonna mark out where, you don't have to mark it out like, it's not a chalk outline. We didn't kill someone. I'm gonna mark out where I want this to be. We're just gonna do right here. I really don't feel like getting into my hair today. Love you all, but anyway, so we've got this marked out where I'm gonna put my Artex. So this is the Aquabond adhesive. You can use spirit gum, you can use Prozaid. I love Prozaid. I'm gonna put a little bit on my spatula. If it'll come out. Adhesive can be like that. We all know when glue does its job. So I'm just putting a little tiny bit on my spatula. I like to use this spatula because it's real easy to clean. Otherwise, I'd just be throwing things away. So I am going to attach the corner of my eye to my chin, to my cheek. So I'm covering the area that I want to cover. And all the glues are slightly different. Ugh, there's gaff quad on that paper towel. But this one, before it's totally dry, you can start to stick. So I'm going to take this top part and I'm going to press it down. Pretty, huh? Isn't that pretty? Well, it keeps wanting to open up, but that's better than it was. Okay, so you can see there's like a little seam there where my skin's pressed together and it's coming down and kind of cutting off part of my eye. One more time. Oh, that's better. That's better. Okay, you can see the skin, it's pinching together over there. How funny. It's like fabric or skin. Okay, clean the glue off. Okay, so I've got part A and part B that I mixed in here. Artex, once you mix it together, it is activated and you have like seriously less than a 5-minute window. In Colorado, I would even say less. It's funny because even though my mouth is not glued shut, I feel like I can't talk. Okay, so as you can see, I'm troweling on Artex. Now, there's a technique called skip troweling where you can kind of pick up your especially once it starts setting, you can pick up your spatula and kind of spread it around. What that does is it creates these awesome three-dimensional gross pockets where it makes it look like there's areas of depth, like we've burned down into the muscle. All right, so that cured like so crazy fast. I can't even tell you. There it is. This is still a little wet. Ooh. All right, so that's dry. You can see I didn't even make it up to my white line there. So take that cup, we throw it away. So next, I'm because Artex is clear, you can build it up in layers and you can see through the layers. It's really cool. So I have part A and part, well, this is part B and part A, and I'm going to mix these together. So hopefully I'll have a little more cure time than the last time. So I'm really mixing it together, mixing it together. All right, and this is a lot. I mixed up a boatload. So now I'm going to do the skip troweling again, and I'm going to go to the edge, hopefully not in my hair that's not covered by what. I'm going to go to the edge, and I'm like pressing down my spatula to create a negative space in the middle. And if I was looking at my image where there's muscle showing through the skin, the image that's in the PowerPoint, you'd see that there is a horizontal muscle that goes over your cheek, over the cheekbone. So you can see I'm creating holes in there. Oh, I gotta use it, gotta use it, gotta use it. It's setting up again. Oh my God. Okay, so we're gonna come onto the cheek a little bit more just because we're having fun. Usually it's not this thick. It's a very low humidity day and I'm in my studio, so there's like no humidity control. You see that silicone just came right off because it's already cured. So I think I'll take this piece off too because it's a little kind of foreign to our design. All right. Whew. Well, that's trash already. Can you believe it? That's annoying. Okay. I'm going to show you how to screw up and still have a good design. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out our brushes. I have my brushes in a little box here. Told you I got organized today. And I am going to add some color in here. I've got still colors from my bruise wheel on my palette. So I'm going to start with my brightest bloods. And so this is like ever so slightly tacky. It does not hurt if you want to get some of the gloss down to kind of stick your finger to it a little bit, and it's almost like powdering it. Although I want some areas to stay glossy because it's gross. So, all right, cured crazy. So I'm going to pick up some red and I'm going to go into the recesses. Move this over here so you all can see it better. I like to go from dark to light. And I'm doing a lot of red in here right now. Don't worry, we will temper this. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. So I'm using this brush. It's the 1734, and I'm going to use our little liner brush that we have, and I'm going to take the really dark brown from the bruise wheel I'm using, and I'm going to put it in the most recesses, so the darkest or the deepest spots on the face. I'm going to put them in there. And it really helps if you can, just to like work your brush in there under the material. And you can kind of let your brush move organically, you know, like I kind of put it under the edges and kind of wiggle it around. So it's not like super perfect. We don't want it super perfect. This is a nice deep pocket. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit more up in here, up in here, up in here. I found another lovely little pocket there. Happy little gore pocket. Happy little pocket. You can see the areas that I'm leaving now are actually really fantastic because they give the 3-dimension, you know, they make it look real. All right. So now that we've got that going on, I like to get my stipple sponge out. And I like to get a little yellow up in here, up in here, up in here. And I start stippling the yellow on the high points. And white can even be used here too, because white will really give it a high highlight. It, you know, it depends whether you're doing it for stage or for film. I'm gonna stipple now a little tiny bit of red around the edge, just to kind of obliterate the edges of this. Even though the edges are like really well blended, it doesn't translate as well on the screen, but in person it looks pretty darn good. Okay, again, you don't want to go all the way around anything because, you know, it makes it look super fakety fake. And then next, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take, and I'm telling y'all, never throw away these weird little makeup brushes, right? That come with different eyeshadows and stuff like that. I had my eyeshadow palette hanging around. Oh my gosh, it's right here. So I'm gonna use our eyeshadow palette that came with the kit. It has the black in there. I love this black. And I'm gonna kind of tap it on my skin to make sure I don't get too much, but I'm gonna use it on the edges. It, like in my research, there was some crispiness on the edges. You know, my little tiny stencil brush, one my mom did facials with, thinking that that's kind of gonna be better. So I'm gonna make this basically the outline of my burn. So the electrical flash was here, which is a very strange and specific place. It would most likely be much larger. We're gonna do an area of flesh that's peeled back, but hopefully you can see how nice this black is just picking up the edge of the Artex. Okay, so we're gonna go over the bone right here because it actually charred us down to the bone. Okay, so not too much black. Don't go crazy. It's easy to go crazy with the black. I'm gonna get now a little bit more of the red browns back in here. The yellow kind of took over. I like what the yellow did, but there's just a few more areas of definition that I'd like to see. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so awesome. Gosh, I love this stuff. Now, you can add back in some Vaseline or KY to make it a little bit more shiny and gross. But I enjoy this right now. It looks terrific in my mirror. My last touch is going to be, I have some blood, you have some blood. So what is going on here is it's happened and it's oozing because, you know, my body's trying to protect itself, right? So what I'm gonna do, I have some pigs might fly in here, and it is like the special effects blood that Krylon makes. And I'm just gonna put a little in the darkest recesses. And the thing that is really cool about this for finishing touch is that it's also stays kind of glossy. So much easier to do this on another person where you can really, really see what the heck's going on. So this is nice. You can all see that I was pretty sparing with the blood. I didn't want to be super overkill with it, but it's still a bit of an open wound, but it wouldn't be like dripping blood, right? Because it's just been burned. So now it's like kind of oozing some blood. And I think I don't love what happened with some of the blood over here. I want to put the yellow back into that. So I'm just gonna go over the top to highlight that again. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see if my mirror will stand up in hopefully better light. What this looks like. And actually, Here is sunlight. Which the yellow is showing up really, really well in the sunlight. So, you know, you want to consider what sort of light you're going to be under. As usual, all of you know that with the stage light and how much that washes it out, washes out all color and definition. This is a shadow being cast at the corner of my eye. You can see that the glue released a little bit, but I think it's looking pretty good. If it hadn't set up so fast, I would have taken my spatula and blended this area a little bit more into the skin. But I think it's looking pretty nice. The cool thing about this stuff is that when you're done with your makeup, you can, drum roll until I find my spatula, okay. You can actually, need my mirror, you can pick it off if you pull gently. You can see that it's not removing my eyebrow hair. And that's a good thing because I only have like 3 eyebrow hairs at the end there. So, you know, ripping latex off can be a little harsh, but this is like so awesome how it peels. Here we go. It's off. And here is my beef jerky from my face. I know it's disgusting. Here's the back. You can see it's all flesh toned. So pretty cool, I'd say. If you have any questions about this, please, please, please post them in the discussion. And I hope you play around with this and have fun. Again, the product I gave you is 3rd degree. The product I used is called Artex. Artex is my favorite. It's Krylon. I love it. Okay. I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for your patience today.